This presentation of Endure 2020 on the QC Broadcasting Network is presented by Elevate Marketing and Promotions, Minuteman Press, Call Carlo Mechanic and Maintenance, and 511 CrossFit Training Gear, the official CrossFit training vest of the CrossFit Games. Hey guys, and welcome inside the gym here at CrossFit Unite in Concord, North Carolina. This is the headquarters for Endure 2020. That lady right there is Lisa Merrick, who has been coordinating all of this, and we are 1 week in. Tonight we're going to check out the leaderboard as well as preview the workout for this week. But I thought we'd start by kind of looking back at last week's workout, just from some of the information that I was fed by our brilliant CrossFit insider, Gardner Payne. He told us that last week's workout was, kind of a workout that was not easy, but sort of eased people into what they were going to be doing. How did you think that the athletes performed in week one, and were you overall pleased with the results that you saw? Yeah, definitely. Last weekend's workout was for sure, the two workouts or the two challenges were definitely a warm-up to what you're going to see this week. Definitely, there's a lot more heat in these two workouts for this week. But yeah, super excited. The feedback I've received from teams, I've heard of teams hitting back squat PRs, which when you do a 1 rep max or 2 rep max or even any kind of 3 rep max even back squat in a shorter time frame, so 12 minutes gives you less time to actually let your muscles recover in between attempts. And so to hit a PR in a short time frame like that is huge. And the rows, row sprints they eat you up. They just suck. And when you add some other movements to do in between when you're trying to sprint and get as many meters as in a short amount of time as possible, that's very, very challenging. I think all the teams, they had great times out there. Saw 17 minutes and some seconds, anywhere up to 21 minutes. And if you take into consideration the transitions back and forth every 3 minutes, transitions eat up time. So to be able to hit a 5K in 21 minutes or less, that's huge, considering that you're jumping off the row, you're taking your feet out, you're going to do more movements, your partner's getting in, strapping in or not, and just moving. So that was very impressive. Yeah, I noticed that. That was one of the more interesting things. So the clock does keep ticking whenever you switch. There were some that were maybe not as worried about that, maybe thought in their minds that they were going to wait, 20.2 was maybe where they could make up a little bit in the standings. Because there were some, I know, I can't remember the team name just off the top of my head, but it was a group that is out of, I think it's CrossFit Davidson, who had a really successful time for female scaled. And they were literally right behind. There was one point where one of the girls was almost underneath the other girl as she got up, and they were going quickly, whereas you saw some of the other ones sort of taking their time, getting on the rower and everything like that. Is that something that maybe is just, it's a feel for you, maybe how quickly you feel like you're able to get back to it, or maybe if you feel like you can make up some of the time yourself with how good of a rower you are or something like that? How does that go about in your mind, at least whenever you do these workouts transition-wise? Transition is huge. You can win or lose workouts based on transition on a team. And you've got to know your body and know yourself well enough to know what limit you can push in the row sprint to be able to recover in the 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes and 15 seconds you really have to recover. Most folks, have a gauge on that, and I certainly know I do. I know how far I can push it, what I can sustain in the 3 minutes of rowing in order to recover in 2 minutes. But doing that transition like that they did at Davidson, that's great because you want to be right there. You don't want to waste any seconds in your transition. I've been in, at the Granite Games, we did, I think it was 12,000 meters rowing, 3 people. I'm pretty sure it was 12,000 meters. And we were sprinting 500 to 750 meters every turn, and we transitioned just like that. We do we're right behind our teammate. We go right onto the seat. We didn't even strap in our feet. You maneuver the straps just so they're comfortable enough so that you're not super loose, but not that you have to worry about taking the strap and trying to fit your feet every time. You just don't have the time to do that. If you did that, you can waste
10, 20 seconds, and that's huge.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I think that's pretty much what we saw from a good amount of the scale teams on the female side. You saw some teams that were really aggressive. You saw some teams that weren't quite as aggressive, and you could see it in those final scores. But let's take a look let's go with that division first, because I think that's the most interesting division leading off, because you just have so many teams. And even out of the gate, they're really still very close. I mean, you got 3 teams at the top that are, they each have 6 points, which means that they kind of performed good in one section, maybe not as good in the other section. It's an extremely competitive start at the top. What did you think about that female scale division and how they looked out of the gate?
I love watching the female scale division. The women are on that in the scale division are not afraid to put themselves out there in any competition that I've either participated in or organized. I've seen that division be the most populated one out of all of them. Mm-hmm. And you'll see the ones, a lot of times you'll see the ones that, if you're strong in your back squat, you're usually a strong rower, but you'll see some teams that will be super strong on the lifting and the strength side, but then on that you give it body weight or you give it cardio and they're not going to be as strong. So you really will see some teams not do as well in the strength, but then you're going to see them catapult up in something that's for time, maybe like on one of our other workouts coming up, that they could breathe a little better and they'll catapult up. So you'll see the standings kind of ebb and flow through the few weeks or through the competition because of just that, the different strengths and weaknesses. And that's what truly makes these competitions so very cool, because we truly see a test on all different levels. It's not just how strong are you, or it's not just what is your lung capacity, or how long can you sustain work. It's all of it. So a coach had once told me, you don't have to, in order to be successful at CrossFit, you don't have to be great at any one thing. Mm-hmm. You have to be good at everything.
Well, one of the teams that was, I think, the most interesting was a group that actually trains out of here, CrossFit Unite, which was Barbell Misfits. They actually placed 9th in the first 20.1 workout, but they bounced back and were fantastic in 20.2. Actually had 510 on the back squat. So I think, you can just see it right there, how you can one workout can be a huge difference, because you go from having the actual last submitted time in one workout to being the best in the next workout. Oh, yeah. So it's amazing how quickly that can switch. And for you, that must have been pretty cool to see your group go from, down in the standings to all of a sudden right back in the thick of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell our athletes that all the time. Don't get discouraged over one workout. Not every workout's going to be in your wheelhouse. But you'll get the workouts that will be in your wheelhouse, and that's where you got to capitalize and take advantage of those times and make sure that you're on your A game and you do it right. And yeah, Barbell Misfits, those ladies, they can move some weight. I'm super proud of them, and they're very, very strong women.
Well, Lisa's ladies also participated. That's right, team named after you here at a CrossFit Unite. They got off to a little bit of a slower start than Barbell Misfits, but, again, like you talked about, things can kind of change on the fly. So I'm assuming you definitely think that they could maybe thrive here as the competition goes later on.
Absolutely. And those two, they hit PRs for their back squat in this week. One of them just finished a back squat. She tested her back squat 1 rep, I think it was last week, and then hit a 2 rep of 10 pounds heavier this week, which is a win. So, above everything else, doing competitions is just about putting yourself out there, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. And so you're going to have those wins along the way, and that's what we should really be celebrating. The challenge, the fact that you're putting yourself outside of your comfort zone, and you're finding those PRs along the way. Because this is not a competition where there's going to be a check written at the end of the 3 weeks. But it's just, you celebrate yourself and what you've been able to accomplish. And for everybody, just being able to have the strength to do this after being quarantined for I don't know how many months. Yeah. And then, that's a huge win for everybody that's participating.
Yeah, and I mean, this division was definitely impressive. We'll run through the standings here really quickly for you guys. In that female scale division, you have Need That Fan, though, out of CrossFit Indian Trail with 6 points, tied in first place with Just Show Up from CrossFit Davidson, as well as Anything But Thrusters from CrossFit Wicket. The Wonder Twins not too far behind in fourth with 9 total points. The Barbell Misfits, who we talked about, in fifth with 10 points. Salute the Glutes in sixth with 11 points. Seventh is Day Of with 12 points. Eighth, Blood, Sweat, and Beers. What a great name there. They are eighth with 13 points. Lisa's Ladies in ninth with 17 points, and CrossFit Janes in last with 20 points. But I believe one of the women that we work out with, Tricia Riesmeyer, she ended up actually having to sit that out because her son does have COVID-19. So we are, of course, wishing you guys the best. Yes. So I think that might have played a part as to why they weren't able to participate in this workout and everything like that. But we wish them the best. But we're excited to continue in that female scale division. The female RX division, a little bit thinner. Only one team in there. You have No Regrets from CrossFit Unite here. What did you think about their performance? I know, they don't really have the competition, so I'm assuming that it's also a little bit different. How are you kind of keeping them motivated to still put up really good times and really good numbers, even though they don't have the competition that some of the other divisions have?
Well, and I'd asked them if they wanted to move on over to the female scale division, and they don't want to. They want to be able to do the workouts RX. Mm-hmm. One of them says, I don't want to have to do single unders in a workout because I'll fear that I'll forget my double unders. And they're just motivated ladies in general. I mean, going to the gym is a non-negotiable part of their day. Even if they have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to do it, and many times they have a few days a week. So they're motivated just in general. So give them a gruesome workout, give them a challenge, and they're going to do it. So I think they're doing it because they're putting themselves out of their comfort zone. It gives them something new to look forward to every week, and they might be kind of looking at their scores saying, well, how do I compare doing the RX way to these other scores? And I think they're not looking at the female scale division. They are looking at the men, seeing how they compete to the male scale division.
That's interesting. And the male scale division definitely has some really good competition. But first, let's go with the male-female Masters RX division. Again, this is one of the top levels here for these athletes. They were fantastic. Again, this one pretty interesting. They pretty much, the teams that performed well in 20.1 performed well in the same exact spots in 20.2. We go balls deep out of CrossFit Pine Barrens is the team in first place because they won both of them. So, for this group, were you impressed with what you saw from them as well?
Absolutely, and I'm pretty sure that box is not even from Florida. North Carolina. I think they're somewhere in New York.
Wow.
New York or Massachusetts, if I recall correctly, because I searched that. So, way to go, guys. That's really cool. And it's super cool to see how the competition stretched from all the way up north. That's pretty cool. Yeah,
that's amazing. And they did an amazing job out of the gate. As we mentioned, they had the best 20.1 time, 18:51, and then the best 20.2 weight also at 660 on their back squat. So congratulations to them. The Yeah Daddies in second place with 4 points, right behind them, second in both of those events. Third place, Better Naked, I'd say best name in the competition.
Yeah.
No doubt, out of No Limit Fitness. 6 points so far, third and third for them. Fourth place, Snatch and a Jerk from CrossFit Rappahannock, I think is how you pronounce that. They are with 8 points. And then Tit Tat S3 at a CrossFit S3 in fifth place with 10 points, 5 in each. You move on to the men's or male-female RX division. This one a little bit closer. Some teams really competitive here. Bar Wars, the team on top, they're an independent group. They have 3 points, finished first with a great time of 19:30 on the 20.1. And then the best weight in 20.2 went to Cookies and Cream at 565. I watched one of these videos from Cookies and Cream. I believe that was the group. And, man, they looked pretty taxed because this was definitely an extremely tough workout for them. But some teams putting up some really good numbers out of it.
Yeah, it's super cool to watch. And I'm really excited to see what's going to unravel after this week.
Yeah, they are extremely close together. Bar Wars right now in first place, as we mentioned, with 3 points. Cookies and Cream right behind them with 4 points. And even strong together, Byram out of CrossFit ITC. They have 5 points right now. So this is going to be one that should probably stay pretty close. And this probably is a workout where you would think there might be a little bit of separation between these groups. You're going to find out maybe who the leader is out of the gate.
Oh yeah,
this will separate.
Yeah, there's gonna definitely be, and it might be something where there's gonna be a team that excels in one and then doesn't do so much in the other, and you might see that as well.
So you move on to the male-female scale division. The scale divisions, just in general, a lot of competition that you see there. This one had 6 teams, pretty evenly matched so far. No team is really that far out of it just yet. But you got CFMNC out of CrossFit MNC, excuse me. They're in first place with 3 points. But, we talked about, off camera, a group in Joey and Leah who are right behind them, a younger group. They're right behind them, and they actually finished with the best time of 1931 on the rowing. I mean, you look at this group, another one that's extremely competitive and has some really bright young stars in Joey and Leah that could end up making some really good noise in this competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because you said with CrossFit MNC?
Yes.
First. So I believe that group was in the Masters division, and I asked if they wanted to switch on over to regular scaled. And so it's funny to see the Masters and the youngest. So this may be some of the older people in the competition neck and neck with some of the younger people in the competition. Right. So that's got to make them feel good, because I know that makes me feel good every time I'm keeping up with the young ones. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're in first place. They're doing a fantastic job right now. Finished second on 20.1 and first in 20.2. They had the best weight of 555 for them. So
that's
actually
great.
Tied with 5201 Metro. So good for them. 5201 Metro right behind them. That's another independent group with 4 points. So just 1 point back. 2 points back behind them is Joey and Leah, who we talked about, with 6 points. They're in third place. The Homebodies with 8 points out of Railway CrossFit. Then you have Mr. and Mrs. That's Right out of That's Right Fitness. They are currently sitting in 5th with 10 points. And then IKR, I know you're right, for anybody that's maybe isn't a texter, that's what they were going for there. They are in 6th place with 10 points as well. You move on to the male RX division, another very competitive group here. And really, I think this one might actually end up being the most competitive. I mean, you've got a team, and I am second from CrossFit Northlake in first place with 5 points, but the team that's in 5th place is only 2 points behind them. Very evenly matched out of the gate in this division in what was an extremely tough workout for these guys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the male, and you see that in the male RX division a lot. It's really tight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers, best 20.1 time, 17:27 from the Hooligans. That is a fantastic time. And then the best 20.2 weight, easily the top weight by anybody on the back squat for last week, 820 from CrossFit South Cherry Team 2. Not even the first team could get that big of a lift in. The second team that they had ends up getting that big of a lift in. But, I mean, these standings extremely close together, and this is another one where it feels like this week's workout might be what separates this group that is so tightly packed together out of the gate.
Oh, yeah.
So you look, we'll read through those standings really quickly again for you. I am second. Well, they're not second. They're in first right now with 5 points. You got the Hooligans in second with 6 points. Of course, as we mentioned, they finished first, but finished 5th in 20.2. So that's what dropped them down a little bit. Good group out of Latitude 35 CrossFit, though. You got CrossFit South Cherry Team 2 out of CrossFit South Cherry. You got Double Trouble out of CrossFit Liberate as well, tied with CrossFit South Cherry Team 2 with 7 points. CrossFit South Cherry, their main team, also with 7 points as well. So all 3 of those teams tied. And then CrossFit Cabarrus, who we actually got the video from. It looked like those guys were really killing it, doing a great job. They're actually in last place, believe it or not, but still had a really solid time on the row. They're still hanging around in 6th place with 10 points. The last group that we'll talk about, another smaller group, but still some really talented ones. And I think this is going to be a battle that's going to go back and forth between these two for who finishes in first place in the men's scale division. You have Super Troopers at a CrossFit Crib, and you have the Composters that are independent. They both have 3 points, and it feels like this could be one where they're going to go back and forth for a while.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch those two go back and forth.
So you got the best 20.1 time goes to the Composters. They had an 18:58 time on the row. You had the best 20.2 weight on the back squats. That went to Super Troopers with 6:10. So overall, I think you got to be pretty pleased with what you saw from the first week. And I'm assuming that you're feeling, just for everybody, this is the workout that's going to separate the contenders from the pretenders.
Oh, yeah. 2 workouts.
Yep. But especially, I mean, the first one, I think Gardner was out of breath telling me about this first workout. So just, on the surface, what does this first workout involve, and why is this one really important? Because as you told me, this is kind of the foundation of CrossFit.
Yes. So we're going to say what it is now?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So 20.3, I'm calling Crazy Fran. Fran is a workout that CrossFitters love to hate, or just hate in general.
I hate working out, so it's all good, people.
It's one of the CrossFit benchmark WODs, and it is this time stimulus. Typically, it's 20. The stimulus for Fran, it's 21:15:9 thrusters and pull-ups. The stimulus for Fran is basically 6 minutes or less. You want to see athletes achieve that in 6 minutes or less. So it's very crucial to know how you should scale either the pull-ups, what weight you should have on the barbell in order to achieve that stimulus, because no one wants to be stuck in Fran for 19 minutes. That's just a bad day. So Crazy Fran, it's a couple twists to it. Because Fran is one of my favorite CrossFit workouts ever. I get crazy looks all the time. When I see Fran comes on the board, I'm like, yes. Love Fran.
Everybody else is like, oh, come on.
You just rip
and you're you're the person in class that when the teacher ends up saying, I don't think we're going to have any homework, you're the person, are you sure? Because I really want to have some homework.
I want to have some homework.
There you go.
No, to rip the Band-Aid off.
There you go.
Just get it. Don't just gently, slow. It's rip it off. This is going to be a little different, though, because it's a little longer, and you can split it between the partners can split it however they want. So for the RX division, we're going to have 100 double unders. Then you're going to do 21:15:9 thrusters and pull-ups. So which that means is they're going to have to do 21 thrusters, 21 pull-ups, 15 thrusters, 15 pull-ups, 9 and 9. The RX weight will be 95 pounds for the gentlemen, 65 for the ladies.
Okay.
Scaled will be 65 pounds for the gentlemen, 35 pounds for the ladies. The scaled movement for scale divisions will be ring rows. Then after you're done with that, you've got 75 double unders or 150 singles if you're scaled.
Got it.
Then you do a lower number. So it's a descending ladder of thrusters and the gymnastics movements, but the weight on the thrusters go up. And the gymnastics movement gets a little bit more intense or skilled as we go through this workout. So after you're done with your 21:15:9, you go to 75 double unders or 150 singles.
Gotcha.
Then you do 15:12:9 thrusters and chest to bar. For RX, the thruster weight, you guys are doing at 115 for the guys, 85 pounds for the ladies. Scaled will be at 85 pounds for the guys, 55 pounds for the ladies. And you're doing chest to bar pull-ups for RX. Scaled will be doing pull-ups. After you're done with that, you're into 50 double unders or 100 singles. And then you do 12:9:6 thrusters and bar muscle-ups for RX. The thrusters weight for the gentlemen will be 135, and for the guys, 95 pounds for the ladies. For scaled, it'll be 95 pounds for the guys, 65 pounds for the ladies. And then the bar muscle up will, the gymnastics movement for the RX division will be bar muscle ups. And then for the scaled, there'll be chest to bar. So here's 18-minute time cap for this workout. Here's what we might see. Maybe not everybody has bar muscle ups in RX.
Gotcha.
So we might see some folks that might get their first bar muscle up because it usually is under an environment or a competition like this where you kind of pushed outside of your comfort zone that you find that first, okay, aha, I've got this.
Right.
And you might see some scale. You probably see some scaled folks that are probably looking at this, and they might think, "Oh, I don't have chest-to-bar pull-ups." Well, to this week, you might be your chance to get that your first chest-to-bar. So if folks don't make the 18-minute time cap, then their total score is the number of reps achieved within that 18 minutes.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so I think it's going to be extremely challenging. Like you said, there'll be some teams that are, maybe going to be doing some stuff that they're really not used to doing. But I think there's one really big key to this, as you told us when we were talking a little bit before we got on camera, which is your breathing and controlling it. So from your perspective, why is that such an important part of this workout?
Oh, you've got to stay calm. You've got to stay calm because the double unders from the beginning or the jump ropes, they're going to spike your heart rate up in a very fast way. Then if your heart rate is elevated and you start you're not breathing, you're not focused on just staying calm, thrusters are going to be miserable. I love thrusters. I figured out how to stay calm in thrusters. Breathe out on the bottom, breathe out at the top, and just stay focused and don't let it freak you out, because then you go to pull-ups where if you're not breathing out as you're pulling up over the bar and focusing on staying calm, by the time you're in the round of 15 of the thrusters, the first set of thrusters and pull-ups, it can go south really fast. And then the rest of the workout will just be a bear. So just enjoy the fact that you have a partner to share this pain in.
There you go.
And be strategic. I would not chip out a big set of double unders unless you're very comfortable in double unders. Maybe you just chip away at the double unders and then go on through and just play to each other's strengths and weaknesses. If you love thrusters and your partner loves pull-ups, great. Do the bulk of that. You do the bulk of the thrusters, they do the bulk of the pull-ups. So it'll be fun.
Well, there we go. Well, we're going to have Charlie. He's going to demonstrate that for us here a little bit so you can kind of talk about that a little more in depth. Now, really quickly, 20.4. Explain to us a little bit about that one. Actually, my favorite name of a workout that you have so far. It seems like that's just going right to the point that it is going to be a little bit of a hellish workout.
It is what it is. Yeah. So we've had Crazy Fran is for time, and then AMRAP 20 is 20.4, and that's just for as many reps as you can achieve in 20 minutes. So as many reps as possible.
Gotcha.
So definitely goes right to the point of we're going to measure reps. We start off with 20, and this is where we really play with the partners and the team aspect of it. So you're going to see 2 synchronized movements in this. So you're going to start off with 20 synchronized single-arm double presses. You have to switch arms every 5 reps.
Gotcha.
The dumbbell, we'll go over that in the movement standards. Dumbbell has to finish on the top at the same time before the next rep. Your partner can start. You guys can start your next reps. So you got to stay in tune with each other. Then you go from that, and it's just using one dumbbell the whole time. From that, you've got 20 box step-ups with holding the dumbbell. And then you go into 20 synchronized toes to bar or knee raises, which depending on which division you're in. And then you, the last movement, because there's 4 in this, is 20 goblet lunges with the dumbbell. So you'll just go through this over and over and over again until the clock hits 20. So then you're saved by the bell.
All right, yeah. So we'll get ready to go put those on camera for you guys. For everybody that's participated so far, congratulations on a great start to Endure 2020. There are 2 very exciting but very challenging workouts coming up that we're going to demonstrate for you. Of course, you guys can go on and check out the leaderboard on what is the name of the website?
Competitioncorner.net, and it's also posted on our Facebook event page.
Okay, and of course, she'll be explaining the workouts a little bit more. Remember, there is an 18-minute cap on that first workout, so make sure that you guys are trying to get underneath that time, or else you'll end up having to count the reps instead of the time. But again, we'll update you on the scoreboard or on the leaderboards again next week, and we are very excited with what has been a great start to this tournament. Anything else for the people at home about this workout that they're going to be doing this week, or about last week's workout before we head into it?
No, I'm good. You guys get your rest.
All right, guys. Yeah, so here we go. We'll toss it over to this lady right here. She's going to explain to you 20.3, and then it'll go into 20.4.
And workout 20.3 for our Endure 2020 is definitely going to be one of my favorites. It's called Crazy Fran. You guys, this is a fun one. It's going to be a burner. Partners can split the work however they'd like. In the scaled division, you're going to start with 200 singles. Then you're going to go through 21, 15, 9 of thrusters and ring rows. Your weight on the thrusters in that first round is 65 pounds for the guys, 35 for the ladies. Then you're going to go to 150 singles, then 15, 12, 9 of thrusters and pull-ups. Gentlemen's weight is 85, ladies' weight is 55 pounds. And then you're going to do 100 singles, 12, 9, and 6 thrusters and chest to bar pull-ups. Gentlemen, your weight in the scale division is 95 pounds. Ladies, you're at 65. On to the RX way of doing this. 100 double unders, 21, 15, 9 of thrusters and pull-ups. Gentlemen's weight is 95. Ladies, they're at 65 in that first round, and then our thruster weight will go up. But first we'll do 75 double unders. Then we're going to go to 15, 12, and 9 of thrusters and chest to bars. Gentlemen's weight is 115. Ladies, you're at 85. The last round, you have 50 double unders and 12, 9, and 6 of thrusters and bar muscle ups. The finishing thruster weight is at 135 for the guys and 95 pounds for the ladies. 18-minute time cap, splitting that work however you'd like. So let's talk about the movement standards. Charlie's going to demo a single under for us. That rope must just be very simple, moving forward and just rotating under your feet once. That's your single under. For your double under, again, that rope must be moving forward and must pass underneath your feet twice each rotation. Perfect. All right, let's demo the thruster. For the thruster, the barbell must start. You can start from the ground. You can squat clean it into your first rep, going all the way over your head, so that when you're doing the thruster, the hip crease must pass below parallel, and you're finishing with the barbell over your head. That's your thruster. Again, more specific movement standards will be emailed out to you guys. All right, the pull-ups. Let's start with ring rows for scaled. Specifics are going to be emailed out to you guys, but those rings must be 32 inches off the floor, feet directly underneath the rings. You're going to pull your chest all the way to the rings and back. The rep is finished when the chest hits the rings. Full extension of your arms. Pull-ups. Onto the pull-up bar. Just a regular pull-up. Your chin goes over the bar. You can kip your pull-up. You can do strict pull-ups, or however you'd like to. Chest just must go over the bar. Chest to bar pull-ups. It's exactly what we say. Your chest has to hit the bar, just like Charlie's is, making contact with the bar. That is when your rep is finished. Charlie, do one more chest to bar. On all the pull-ups, we got to make sure that our arms start locked out. They don't start in the bent position. The arms start locked out and finishing when the chest hits the bar. Bar muscle ups. Again, just like the pull-ups, your arms have to start in locked out position or dead hang. Going up to the bar and lifting yourself up over the bar. Great. There we have the movement standards for 20.3 Crazy Fran. You guys get after it and have some fun. The fourth workout for Endure 2020 is AMRAP 20. It is going to start with 20 synchronized doubles presses, where that dumbbell starts at the bottom. You're going to snatch it up with one rep. The rep ends when both partners' dumbbells are overhead. Switching every 5 reps. Back down to the ground. There we're going, and from the ground switching overhead. Make sure you lock out overhead for each reps and when you both stop. Then you're going to go to, you can split this workout however you want, 20 goblet box step-ups. From the box step-ups, you're going to go to the bar, and you're going to do 20 synchro toes to bar or hanging knee raises. Again, movement standards will be detailed and emailed out to you as well. And then the finishing movement in this workout are 20 goblet lunges. Each step counts as a rep, so each time you move your leg forward, it counts as a rep. Knees touching the ground, pressing through your heels. You can split the work up for the lunges and the box step-ups however you'd like. The synchro movements have to be just that, both partners. And this is for as many reps as possible. Have fun.